If more volume builds more muscle, why do so many people get worse results when they add more sets? The truth is, doing too much volume doesn't just waste your time, it can actually slow your progress down. In this video, I'll show you exactly why more isn't better, how to spot junk volume, and what's really limiting your gains. One of the most important things I learned in over 10 years of training is this. Muscle growth doesn't just go up in a straight line, it follows a curve. Like I talked about in the last video, doing more sets does increase muscle growth up to a point. In Schoenfeld et al.'s 2017 meta-analysis on training volume, higher volumes, around 10 sets per muscle per week, led to more growth than lower volumes, less than 5 sets per week, with about a 3.9 greater increase. But here's the catch. It's not like you can do 100 sets and expect 10 times the results. That'd be pretty cool. There's actually a study comparing 9, 18, and 27 sets per week for biceps, and 18 sets produced the most growth. Doing more than that didn't help, it actually started to level off, even trending worse than 18 sets. In other words, if volume was linear, 27 sets should have built more muscle than 18, but it didn't. This is exactly what Remmer et al.'s volume meta-regression preprint found too. More volume does increase muscle growth, but each additional set gives you less return than the one before it. After around 10 to 12 sets, the curve starts to flatten out. More sets still work, they just stop working as well. And it's important to understand. This applies whether you're looking at volume per session or per week. The pattern is always the same. The first few sets give you the biggest returns, the later sets give you less, and eventually stop giving you anything meaningful at all. And that leads us to something called junk volume. Junk volume is any set that adds fatigue without meaningfully contributing to muscle growth. Let's say you go from 3 sets of bench press to 10 sets in one workout. Your first set feels great, second still solid, third you're working hard, but by set 6, 7, and 8, your strength drops, your reps drops, and your output drops. At a certain point, you're not stimulating more growth, you're just accumulating fatigue. That's junk volume. Now compare that to this. 3 sets of bench press, 3 sets of incline dumbbell press, 3 sets of the pec deck. Same muscle, but distributed across exercises that are less fatiguing and more targeted as you go. You get better stimulus with less total fatigue. Every set you do costs recovery, and you only have so much to spend. Here's a simple rule. If your training isn't repeatable next week, it's not optimal. Ask yourself, can I sustain this for the next 2 to 3 months? If the answer is no, you're probably doing too much. This is where individual differences matter. As noted in Remmer et al.'s volume meta-regression preprint, the optimal volume isn't a fixed number. It depends on your experience, recovery ability, and overall training stress. A beginner might struggle to recover from high volume, while someone more advanced might actually need more stimulus to keep progressing. But regardless of the level, if your performance is dropping, motivation is low, or joints are getting beat up, that's recovery debt catching up to you. Not all exercises create the same fatigue, even if the sets look identical on paper. For example, barbell squats require more energy and result in more fatigue compared to a leg press. This is an important consideration when choosing which exercises to include throughout your weekly workouts. Some exercises simply cost more. And this is the system that I use when deciding between exercises and the fatigue cost. In general, barbells are more fatiguing than machines. Standing is more fatiguing than seated or supported, free weights are more fatiguing than guided machines, and doing exercises with one arm or one leg at a time are more fatiguing than doing them with both arms or both legs at one time. So if you stack too many high fatiguing exercises together, your volume stops working. For example, barbell squats will drain you way more than a leg press. Standing dumbbell presses cost more than seated, barbell bench presses are more fatiguing than a chest press machine, and single leg work is far more taxing than using both legs. These exercises aren't bad, they just come at a higher fatigue cost. And if you don't account for that, you can hit your volume limit way faster than you think. So what should you actually do? Here are 3 simple guidelines. First, cut volume before adding more. If progress is stalling or going backwards, you're not undertraining, you're likely overdoing it. Drop 1 set for most exercises, run that for a couple weeks, and see if performance improves. Second, prioritize high stimulus, lower fatigue exercises. This could look like using the replacements or the guidelines I mentioned earlier for some of the more fatiguing exercises in your daily sessions, using exercise variations that challenge the muscle without draining your entire system. And third, keep 1 or 2 reps in reserve. And just like we talked about in an earlier video, training to failure every set doesn't build more muscle, it just builds more fatigue. Stay close to failure, but don't live there. Keep 1 or 2 reps in reserve. Building muscle isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right amount, the right way, consistently. If you want a system that actually solves this, where you're not wasting time, not overdoing volume, still making maximum progress, I've been putting something together that I'll be releasing very soon. If you're trying to make your fitness goals fit into your busy life, and dial in your nutrition without overcomplicating it, make sure you're subscribed, because that's exactly what this channel is about. I'll see you in the next one.